The next subject is avoiding negative people. There's 4 categories of people when we teach on the business side of things, the 4 different types of person. And the one that we're going to focus on for this little piece is called dead wood. That you have superstars, you have workhorses, and you have misfits, but then you have a 4th category called dead wood. Now, this person isn't necessarily evil. This person doesn't necessarily not deserve your love and kindness and friendship, if they're a family member, but they're not doing you any good at all. And they probably never will. They're negative, they're critical, they don't trust you, they don't necessarily believe in you, they have too much dis in their life, and they give you nothing. They're not giving you any food at all. And you're of no substance to them either. No matter how much you love them and care for them, no matter what you say, it feeds back negativity. It's just dead wood. It's of no value. And the person is still a person, and we still need to love them, but you need to avoid certain people. That it's very important for you not to be fed by, spiritually, emotionally, by other people who are causing you to come down. You're not doing them any good by hanging out with them. You giving them a hug once in a while is great. Don't spend time listening to them. Don't listen to their stories. You can't help them, and they can't help you. That's the way it is in life. There's certain people that are dead wood to you. Send them a check. You feel sorry for them, give them some money. But don't spend time with them. These people will take your vision down, will actually feed into all the areas that we talked about earlier, all the other dis in your life. You need to recognize who's dead wood in your life and avoid them. They're like a plague. They're like a disease. And you need to run. Stay away from dead wood. Get away from negative people. And don't feel bad about it. Love them from a distance. The next one is actually a pretty big curse in our society, and it's called entertainment. Avoid entertainment. I'm not talking about occasionally. I'm talking about 100% of the time. If you want to be great, if you want to be successful, you don't have time for entertainment. You don't need it. It's of no value to you. Entertainment, the very word means to be detained from entering. Why would you want to do that? Why would you want to detain yourself? Why would you want to waste those moments, even if it's 2 hours, sitting in front of a television show or a sitcom, or it doesn't matter if it made you laugh. That's not fulfillment. That's happiness versus joy kind of thing. There are other ways to take that very same time and use it. Avoid entertainment at all costs. And it's pretty easy to see the difference between entertainment and recreation. Recreation gives you all the same value that you got from entertainment, but it adds to your life and to the lives of others. Avoid entertainment at all costs. The people who are great don't have time. And the people in the spiritual arena who want to be great spiritually, they don't go to movies. They don't go to football games. They don't go to, it doesn't matter how much fun it is. They want food. They want substance. They want life in the area of the spiritual. And so they separate themselves from the things that will put holes in their soul. And it's the same way in a great golfer or a great student or a great karate guy. A guy who wants 6-degree black belt, he's not sitting around eating popcorn at the movies. He's finding greatness. He's avoiding the things that will detain his greatness. And so if you want to be great, cut it off. It's not that hard. Culturally, we've been trained that it's one of our rights. It's one of our privileges. It's one of the things that we get to do. And in reality, it's one of our greatest curses. To avoid great success, hang out in the movie theater. The next one is something that very few people do, and it has way more power than most people give it, and it's called speak to yourself. Your voice, you hearing your own voice, not just in your head, but verbally. Get alone, if you have to drive in the car, speaking to yourself and telling yourself who you are. Speaking to yourself and reminding yourself of where you're going. You hearing yourself talk aligns yourself on so many levels that we can't get into the spiritual and emotional side of things. I just want to, as a proclamation, as just part of this list, you need to understand that telling yourself who you are and where you're going has 10 times more power than someone else saying something negative to you. Someone tells you you're ugly, you stand in the mirror and tell yourself you're beautiful. Your voice telling yourself something has so much more power to change and direct yourself. You overcome all the voices of the enemy. You overcome all the voices of your enemies, of the people that don't like you, of all the people who live in dis, of all the people who've told you you can't, of all the life's discouragements that told you that you can't make it, of all the circumstances that have told you that it's going to resist you no matter where you go. Your voice has the power to overcome all those things. Telling yourself, encouraging yourself, start in the beginning of the day. In the very first few weeks of sales is my business partner, my trainer, my very first sales mentor used to get up in the morning and he would sing at the top of his lungs this stupid little song as I was trying to still sleep in. He was screaming in the bathroom, I feel healthy, happy and terrific, happy as $1,000,000 bill. And he would sing it over and over and over again until he burst out into laughter, until he found that place of joy. After 2 or 3 days of me wanting to murder him for waking me up every day, I actually got up and started singing the song with him. And it changed my entire life. That one little song, speaking myself into joy, beginning my day, instead of dragging along for the 2 or 3 hours and sucking down coffee and trying to figure out how I'm going to make it through the day, to start my day in voice, to begin my day hearing myself, who I'm going to be and become. It changed the entire day, and it actually changed my life. It turned me into a successful person. With that and consistency, those 2 keys alone caused me to be far above all of my peers. I'm 21 years old, making $50,000 a year. It was crazy. And those 2 little principles actually changed all that. So speaking to yourself is extremely powerful. Where are you going to go? Who are you going to be? How are you going to get there? That your life is amazing. We call it speaking those things that be not as though they are. You start making proclamations of your future as if they already exist. The next thing is to be inspired by greatness. These calls and calls like them, books and articles and audios and listening to people and listening to quotes. One of my favorite things to do is to read quotes of men in the past. Inspire yourself with the greatness of others. Because one of my favorite sayings is, make no small plans, for they have no power to stir men's blood. That if we listen to the voice of greatness, if we listen to Benjamin Franklin and Abraham Lincoln and the patriarchs of old, if we listen to their story, and it was blood, sweat, and tears that they did what they did, they changed history, they changed life. There's something about that causes us to be better at everything that we do. Whether we never change the entire world, we become better at parenting our children. We become better at helping our neighbor mow his lawn. There's something about the greatness inspired by great men causes us to become and do great things, even in the mediocre, even in the minor and the small things of life. And then greatness is stirred, and inspired in everything we do as we surround ourselves with the words of great men. So be inspired by greatness. Listen to people all the time. Be inspired by greatness. Find great men. Find great women who've done amazing things. Each one of the books of the Bible aren't just some religious teaching. They're actually men who have done great and amazing things. The book of Ruth, the stories of Moses, the stories of Abraham. If you read the stories from a perspective of these men struggling through slavery, through depravity, through some of the darkest times in the world, went and found life, found truth, and changed nations. They're everywhere. You can find stories like that everywhere. Inspire yourself with those kind of things. The next thing is find the truth. Truths are powerful. A single truth can change a nation. A single truth can change your marriage. A single truth can change education. A single truth can do great and mighty things in nations and in people. But truth itself is freedom. Truth is different than truths. And to pursue truth above all other things is a very rare breed indeed. A person who is true, a person who finds the truth, becomes unconquerable. The person who finds the truth instead of just truths. Because truths in the pocket of an individual become something that you control, something that you wield, and you decide when and when not to use these truths as tools. They become forms of idolatry or idols, and they do have tremendous amount of power, but it's not greatness. It's not freedom. Quote from one of my favorite authors, James Allen. It is bravo who conquers another, but he who conquers himself is supremely noble. He who is victorious over another may in turn be defeated, but he who overcomes himself will never be subdued. And the only way you can find that place, the only place that you can find where you are never moved, you are never changed, no matter what your external circumstances, you are living in truth. The only way to find that is you have to love truth over all other things. And that's the ultimate goal of everything that I do. But I want above all other things to help you find truth. Because only there can you be in a concentration camp and find greatness and find happy. Only there can you have everything stripped from your person, lose everything in life, and still find satisfaction. Only a person who loves truth more than any other thing can find it. Now, we can use this path of success. We can use all of our other teachings to help people get there. And there are very few people that will. A lot of people are going to say, like that person I was talking to earlier, you know what? I like my weaknesses. I like my pockets of truth. And that's okay. We're going to help you do that. We're going to help you make money. We're going to help you become everything you want to become. But if you want true freedom, if you want absolute, then you have to find truth.